Oh, hi there. So today I wanted to talk about the impact of latest AI innovations like large language models, ChatGPT, etc., on people with high functioning autism. Because let's face it, what is our special interest or special talent as people with autism? We gather these massive amounts of information in our field, become really really good at it, keep that information in our head, and then use it to answer questions, convey it to other people, summarize, use it for creative projects. If, for example, your special interest is computer programming, you learn all the aspects of a language, of a tool stack, and then you can write computer programs. Now, uh, this is basically what ChatGPT does on steroids, and we're just at the beginning, even because it's already very clear that there will be many ChatGPTs in many different fields, and we haven't even scratched the surface of that yet. So um, I've been in the IT field for decades, well over 30 years. I've been writing programs since I was a teen, and yeah, I've never seen an innovation that so suddenly and in one fell swoop made so many human tasks irrelevant. Sorry, I don't have a script here, so I might ramble a bit and search for words here and there. But yeah, I mean, in the past we had it, for example, where okay, the cloud, became popular and it replaced a lot of the old timey kind of system administrators, and a lot of innovations like that just affected one group of people, or one job, or maybe like if you go further back in time, with the advent of calendar apps and email, a lot of secretaries were basically put out of a job. But ChatGPT, I can see with one fell swoop, it will make so many knowledge workers outdated, and it'll affect us people with high functioning autism especially hard, because what used to be a distinctly human talent, and especially distinctly kind of autistic talent of gathering these massive amounts of information and doing stuff with it, suddenly the computer can do that, and in a quite creative way. And not saying that ChatGPT right now is creative, because it's not. It's really fully derivative. And I'm kind of midway between these two extreme camps of people. I mean, there are right now almost two schools of thought. Some people say, "Oh, ChatGPT, it's impressive when you first work with it, but then you ask it more, sophisticated questions, or try to ask it, or try to make it write a more complex program, and it fails." So it can rehash information, it can write paragraphs fairly well, but it's just not as creative as a human, can't do a lot of human work. And then there's some other people who say, well, it will only rapidly improve from now, and maybe in a few years we'll have artificial general intelligence, which is something that a lot of people are afraid of, because that's where you basically have your human mind, human intelligence in a box that is much more capable at running constantly, improving itself, and then there could be the exponential curve where we become the intellectual ants versus the artificial intelligence that's just rapidly evolving. So I'm in neither of those camps. I'm like in the middle, but you don't have to be super faithful in ChatGPT to already see that it will displace so many knowledge workers. And yeah, if you go like, oh, ChatGPT, it's not creative. Um, a lot of what we do is actually not that creative. A lot of jobs are actually not that creative. I mean, corporate America, or corporate IT around the world has managed, for example, that a lot of developers just rudely implement very, very specific requirements that they are given. And that has always been a pet peeve for me, by the way, that all job descriptions say, oh, needs to be able to, gather requirements and talk with everybody, but then the actual jobs where you do hands-on development, it's very often, you get the tickets, you get the user stories, you get like everything drilled down, how it should be like, what it should do, to the nth degree, and then you just do very rote work translating that to code. If it takes some sort of developer that farms then the tasks out to ChatGPT, somebody who sits between the business analysts and the programming ChatGPT, if it will be like I expect it to be, you maybe only need one person there, where right now you have maybe a team of 10 developers. And it doesn't take a genius then to figure out if you have a game of musical chairs and you take away 9 out of 10 chairs, well, it doesn't really matter that much that there are different skill sets. And yes, there are some skill sets where you are maybe especially valuable way beyond your programming skills that could wreak havoc in the IT job market. And same for radiologists, for the people doing legwork for legal lawsuits, etc. You could have legal chat GPTs. You could have, it's hard to imagine any knowledge worker job that will not be at least somewhat affected by these innovations. And that, I can't help it, but that scares me. And I think the people who are not at least a little bit scared of ChatGPT, they have maybe a bit too rosy image of what most jobs are like and what most, tasks are like. I mean, I've seen it with myself. I write a lot of, just hobby projects. And one aspect that I could never do was like, designing logos or designing a nice header for a website, etc. And, so I would go on sites like Fiverr and I would pay people. I didn't have much budget for it, but, I had to pay people, for me, a lot of money to go through revision after revision. Maybe with another project, I would try instead to kind of sketch it myself, but I'm so bad at sketching that, whatever then I gave to the creative person, they would just, use too much of that and it would then look not very good. So, I mean, just from all this back and forth and how much money I spent on very simple kind of creative graphics over the years, to see now with Mid-Journey and now all that work that I farmed out, that's gone in one fell swoop, because I don't need the most creative and artful header in the world. I just need something serviceable that looks fairly good. And Mid-Journey and similar engines can produce that no problem, just using the ton of art that they scraped and using that to create new art. And I think it's like that with a lot of jobs, where if you argue, well, Mid-Journey, those images, they are not really that nice. It still looks a lot better if you hire a real artist. Can't argue with that, but for a lot of companies, for a lot of purposes, whatever ChatGPT will do, whatever these stable diffusion models can do, will be serviceable enough. Just think about like the last time you watched a movie with bad CGI. A lot of movies that have CGI that doesn't even look very real. People still watch it for the story and stuff. So not want to go like and ramble on too long, but I do think that we will see a radical change in the workplace for a lot of things. And of course, in some fields it'll move slow. Like if you have a government job in IT right now, I don't think you have anything to worry about for the next 5 years probably, because a lot of government departments are not as innovative focus. They don't have the pressure in the marketplace to use the latest and greatest. But a lot of technology firms will use these large language models and use specialized ChatGPT for an enormous amount of things. But I don't want to end on a too gloomy note here. I mean, I think there are massive, massive changes coming the next 5 years, and it's good to prepare for that as much as you can. But to maybe see some silver lining here. First of all, as people with autism, high functioning autism, we are very driven. We're not afraid to learn, and we are very creative in our fields. And I can see how ChatGPT and similar models can help turbocharge our special interest. Like I just explained, if you like writing websites, and maybe before you had to hire some people for this and this and that, now maybe you can do it all by yourself by farming out some tasks to AIs. And there will probably be new jobs, just like I explained, just with that kind of intermediate person between the business analyst and the computer programming AI that actually writes the code. There could be similar jobs like that. Let's say you're interested in movie making. AI generated video, which is still in its infancy, you can see how there will probably, even within years, there'll still be problems where it's not very smooth looking, and you maybe still need a human that looks at it. What does this look like to a human, and then fixes whatever problems there are left. And similar in other areas, I think there will always, or for the foreseeable future, there will still have to be some human interaction. And if you are high functioning autistic, and if you're not afraid to get familiar with that AI technology, then maybe that is a niche that you can slide into, even when a lot of other niches got eliminated. So and even I now, again, I mentioned at the beginning of this video how kind of this hit me out of left field. AI, machine learning, I had always heard was such a rote field, and nobody was expecting much from it for years and years and years. And now suddenly it has taken off. And even Python, I never bothered to learn the Python programming language. Now it's like one of the main languages to when you build or use these models. So I'm thinking maybe I should get into Python and machine learning. Seems kind of late now, but it seems almost like, if you have an interest in tech, maybe that's something you can tackle. And Python is actually a language that is, I've worked with it some. It's easy to learn. And if you are just at the beginning of your IT journey, I would absolutely recommend that you look into Python. Because probably for the next few years there will be a lot of jobs related to building machine learning models and Python. Now, what about all these other jobs? One thing that is clear is this will affect people with autism heavily, but not just people with high functioning autism. A ton of people, knowledge workers, will be affected by this. And I think if you have such a potential revolution in the workforce, and maybe an unemployment rate that will go up by quite a bit, if what I expect could happen will happen within the next 5 years or so. The one good thing about that is that if so many people are affected, not just secretaries, not just system admins, but tons and tons of people in vastly different fields, and then especially young people who just trying to make their place in the world and go out into the workplace for the first time. That from a societal standpoint, something has to be done where people can't be just completely destitute because they were replaced by an AI. So I think I mean, I know enough about US society that I don't think we'll easily, transition to a, society where everybody is guaranteed taken care of, and, it'll be rough. But I also think that, maybe similar to what happened during the uh, health crisis lately, that the governments will step in and provide, sort of a you know safety net beyond what exists already, so you won't have, a ton of people losing health insurance, losing their homes, losing their livelihoods, losing everything. Because if AI really takes off the way I think it will, there's not even that much that you can tell people. Like in the past, you could tell people, oh, you were replaced by this technology, just learn computer programming or something else. I mean, if AI goes the way I think it'll go, there will be very few fields that you can recommend people get into, except maybe if you, uh, are very healthy and limber and halfway fit. There's probably a lot of, hands-on work that will take way longer to be replaced by robots, etc. Just think of you know, a robot, picking raspberries or fixing your plumbing. Yeah, I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. So, almost maybe, my various, DIY skills might come in handy even, before I'm like super old retirement age. But yeah, I think anybody who says they know what'll happen within the next 5 years, I think nobody knows what impact all this will have. I know it'll have some impact, and I know if you guess right, you could even potentially make a lot of money. But again, these things are never easy. Yeah. But I'm going to, stop my rambling here, wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching it to the end, and I see you in my next video. Bye.